We believe in the Torah that was given to Moses and the gospel that was given to Christ, but we don't believe the Old or New Testament were ever these books in the first place.
Interesting. Let's see what the Quran has to say about that claim. In Surah 5:43 through 44, Allah says to Muhammad regarding the Jews, "But why do they come to you for judgment when they already have the Torah containing Allah's judgment, and then they turn away after all?" Interesting. So Allah is saying that the Jews during Muhammad's time already have the Torah in their possession. This statement by Allah makes no sense if the Torah the Jews had was corrupt or not the actual Torah. Why would Allah be telling them to judge by the Torah if he knew it was corrupt? Or maybe Allah's wrong in this instance. Surah 5:68, Allah says to Muhammad, "Say, O Prophet, O people of the book, you have nothing to stand on unless you observe the Torah, the gospel, and what has been revealed to you from your Lord." So in this, Allah is telling Muhammad to tell Christians and Jews to stand upon the Torah and the gospel that they have, and that we have nothing to stand on unless we stand on these. And you can't say that, oh, well, part of these texts were corrupt and the other parts weren't, because Allah chastises the Jews for accepting some of the scriptures but rejecting the rest in Surah 285. Similarly, it doesn't make sense to tell people to observe and stand upon the gospel, which has been revealed to them, unless, they actually have it. And if Muhammad is talking to Christians and telling them to observe the gospel, which the Lord already gave them, it's pretty clear that the most natural understanding of this text is that it's referring to the text that they have, which they already regard as gospel. We know what the Torah and gospel looked like during the time of Muhammad. It's pretty much the same as, the Old and New Testament that you were so quick to throw under the bus. Maybe you and Allah should have a talk about that in private, though. So if you want to suggest that the references to the Torah and the gospel, which Muhammad is telling people to read here, is some mysterious, different Torah and gospel that just happens to conveniently have no place in our historical records, and that these marks are not in reference to, the group of documents that for centuries or millennia have been referred to under these labels, and the same documents that we know were present in Muhammad's cultural context, the burden of proof is on you to show the existence of these phantom documents, this phantom Torah. Regarding the gospel, isn't it interesting that Allah supposedly gave Jesus this gospel, and we see not a whisper of its existence in the centuries after his death? Apparently nobody cared to preserve it, but everybody did care to preserve a bunch of other documents that were supposedly made by the disbelieving enemies of Christ. Oh wait, you actually can't say that, because in Surah 355, Allah says that he will cause the followers of Christ to prevail over the disbelievers until the day of judgment. And if the true message of Christ was able to be so completely overpowered and drowned out for centuries by us dirty Christians, Surah 355 is wrong, because those followers didn't prevail until the day of judgment. They didn't prevail until the 2nd century. That's pretty embarrassing. It's almost as if no matter which way you slice this, you still end up wrong.